Welcome to English Goals, where you can learn English through some epic moments in football history, or soccer as they say in Canada and America. For today's episode, we're going to talk about superlative adjectives. We can use these to put people or things at the top or bottom of a list, or to rank them. But before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share with anybody you know who is passionate about football and wants to improve their English. Okay, the first superlative adjective that we're going to look at is the worst. After 3 years and 11 months without a single victory, which is a Guinness World Record, Ibis from Pernambuco in Brazil was called the worst team in the world. The funny thing is that the team and its supporters actually like this and they call themselves the worst team in the world. So when the team wins, they complain because they don't want to lose this special status. Okay, the next superlative adjective that we're going to look at is the opposite of the worst. It is the best. Now, the Brazil 1970 World Cup team is widely recognized as the best team in history. This team featured so many amazing players such as Pelé, Jairzinho, Tostão, Carlos Alberto. This team is definitely the best team. The next superlative adjective that we're going to look at is the furthest. The Coupe de France brings together more than 7,000 teams, from giants such as Paris Saint-Germain and Lyon to tiny clubs from across the French territories and former territories, which are located thousands of kilometers away from the country. In 2023, AS Pirée from Tahiti, an island in French Polynesia, traveled 31,000 kilometers to play a game in Paris. This is the farthest distance a team has traveled to play in a national competition. Okay, the next superlative adjective we're going to look at is the fastest. In 2017, Gavin Stokes, who played in the Scottish Second Division, scored the fastest goal in football history. The goal, scored from the halfway line, was scored 2.1 seconds after the kickoff. This made it the fastest goal in history. The last superlative adjective that we're going to look at is the most expensive. In 2018, Neymar, probably the most famous Brazilian football player in the world at the moment, moved from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain for an incredible 222 million euros. This number made Neymar the most expensive player in the world. Okay, so now I'd like to just talk quickly about how we form the superlative. If the adjective is one syllable, for example, big, then we add est, and then it becomes the biggest. And with the word big, we have to double the G, so it becomes the biggest. If the adjective has two or more syllables, then we typically use the most. So for example, expensive, 3 syllables, we could say the most expensive. So for example, Neymar is, I think he still is, the most expensive player in the world. Finally, I should mention that some adjectives become irregular in the comparative form. You remember we talked about Brazil and we said that they were the best. And we talked about the tournament in France and we said that some teams traveled the furthest. Well, here the adjective is good. And good, we don't say the goodest. No, we say good becomes the best. And the second adjective was far, and we don't say the farthest, we say the farthest, or we can say the furthest. We have 2 ways to say that. So those are irregular superlative adjectives.